A heart that hurts is a heart that works. I'm totally committed to the cause of individuality. That's the only thing I stand by, independence. My dad claims that he was able to trace us back to the West Virginia Hatfields. When I look at the old pictures, the patriarchs have kind of a physical likeness to some of the men on the father's side of my family. I want it to be true. The most rabidly religious people are the most rabidly evil. Every song brings back memories, like I remember where I wrote all these songs. Universal Heartbeat was my apartment in New York City. My sister was at my apartment in Boston. I remember places, and I remember what I was thinking when I wrote it. Human relations, I messed them up and they let me down. Although I'm a huge fan of Ben Queller, I don't think I'd cover one of his songs simply because there's just so much of my own stuff I want to do. I like visiting LA, but I wouldn't want to live there. I tend to fall for the archetypal, talented, charismatic rock boy. I'm full of contradictions. Just do what feels right. My knees are ticklish. People make such a big deal about how people in bands look, especially if you're a girl. The way I see it, all the popular singers are strippers. When I did have a little bit of commercial success, it really didn't suit my temperament at all. I'm a terrible public person. I still have all the faith and love for my music, and yet I'm still playing places for kids. I never felt happy with the idea that part of what I do is to be an object to be looked at. I thought of my public persona as an entity separate to myself. Writing helps me process things that are happening to me. I love Crazy Horse, and Neil Young is one of my favorite guitar players. People are complex. I'm just showing my complexity. In this world where everything happens so fast, it's hard to sit back, take the time and contemplate. I have many moods and there is no objective reality, and I kind of live by that. From the beginning, I've always had a knack for catchy melodies, but I went through a period when I was trying to be rock and roll and have a rock and roll attitude. I was fighting my nature by trying to play really hard and sing really hard. But at a certain point, I realized that I loved syrupy pop music with tons of harmony. If you want to achieve things in life, you've just got to do them. And if you're talented and smart, you'll succeed. As long as there are religions, there are going to be people who are hiding their rottenness behind the veil of religion. Sometimes I feel like a human pincushion. Every painful emotion hits me with ridiculously exaggerated force, and the anxiety feels like hands inside of me squeezing my guts really hard. The whole thing about rock music, pop music, is it's really for kids. I don't have anything to prove anymore. I don't have a record deal, no one has any expectations, I'm in a position of freedom. I don't need anyone's approval. David Ortiz is a genius, he's incredible to watch. Over and over, he hits home runs that are simply transcendent. I never really expected to win the hearts of the masses. I just like to inspire people to be themselves and do what they want and not conform to the rigid guidelines of the music or entertainment business. I'm not a very good advice giver. My first guitar was a Gibson Challenger. My soul is fine, thanks. People need meanings to everything. People want you to intellectualize every choice you make. To make big steps, you've got to take action yourself and not listen to other people. What happens when your dream comes true? When the spotlight is on and then it moves away. My dad was depressed a lot of the time, and there were a lot of things in his life that he never resolved. I'm a damaged person, but I have hope and a will to not give up. I am not dead inside. I still care about right and wrong. I finished Beautiful Creature and I felt somewhat unfulfilled. I felt like this other side of me needed to be released. Some of the songs I left off the album weren't intense enough to be what I wanted. They weren't hard enough. Baseball is more than a game. It's like life played out on a field. The first kiss between two people is something really good in life. I don't really care about money. I find money boring and accounting boring, so I'm probably not going to ever make a lot of money. I don't feel bad or scared about getting older in terms of my looks or anything like that. I'm not afraid of my face changing. I enjoy seeing my face change. I think it's really interesting. I wouldn't want to have same face for my whole life. It would be boring to look at the same face in the mirror for 80 years. Songwriting is like editing. You write down all this stuff, all this bad, stupid stuff, and then you have to get rid of everything except the very best. Puerto Rico has a stray dog problem. Tens of thousands of homeless canines, hundreds of thousands by some estimates, live and die on the streets and beaches all over this Caribbean island of almost 4 million people. I find myself a fascinating subject. I'm a neo-Luddite. It makes me feel good to have some comforting effect on someone that needs comfort. Once I picked up an electric guitar, I lost interest in piano and I just wanted to rock. I studied piano for so long I got burned out on it. Some of the songs are so crazy, the words are so crazy. It's hard to believe I was so crazy. To me, success was not having to have a boss and not having a day job. I've been living my own version of success since the early 90s when I first got signed. I haven't had a job since then. You can learn so much just by doing, not by listening to anybody. My whole life was writing, recording, and touring over and over again. At some point I realized I wasn't enjoying myself anymore. I still have a lot of those depressive thoughts, but now I have the foresight to tell myself, don't think like that, and things seem better. I've been embarrassing myself publicly for over 20 years. Why should I stop now? You find yourself approaching middle age, playing another scuzzy rock club. I've been a bridesmaid. Fortunately, the outfits were pretty tame. They were cream and black, but I still wouldn't wear them out in public, though. I'm able to see humor in a lot of things.